Hey guys, JoeWick31 here with another video, and this one is the Oculus Rift worth buying. I'm sure you guys heard of the Oculus Rift over the last couple years somewhere. It has been a big hype train, and I'm going to go over the good and the bad of what it's going to be doing. If you guys do not know what it is basically a VR gaming / entertainment console, basically. That's going to be an accessory to a gaming computer / laptop. It's going to be basically meant for gaming, but there's going to be entertainment in it as well, which I'm very excited to play and very excited to dabble into. But with that being said, am I going to get it? I'm going to get into this video and let you know my full opinions on whether or not I should or you should not buy or purchase it. First off here, I'm going to start with the bad, and I'm going to end with the good. I'm going to go over a couple things bad, and first off, which is the number one why people are really getting off this bandwagon, is, well, it is $600. That is a lot of money to purchase on something that has not proven itself in the technology world yet. And with that being said, $600, and it's coming out March 28th of this year, which is not too far away. That's about, 2 months away, 3 months away until you can actually get one in your actual home. But really, the money you're going to be spending, is it worth it? Because there's going to be a lot you're going to need to be able to power this thing. And what I mean by that is, if you're an everyday consumer that has, your average laptop, your iPad, you don't have a top-notch gaming computer that can run on full specs, this is basically going to be very underpowered and not even be able to use for you. Because you're going to need a top-notch gaming computer to get the best results from the Oculus Rift. And that is my number one bad thing about this. It is a lot of money for what you're getting. You're not just getting a console. You're not getting just one certain device. You're going to have, this is basically an accessory to a gaming computer. With that being said, if you don't have a gaming computer, it's going to be very hard for you to have an enjoyable experience with the Oculus Rift. So keep that in mind. And something else I'd like to talk about in the bad of the Oculus Rift is it is an unproven technology device. And what I mean by that is it is not proven to be amazing. When someone goes out and gets an iPhone every different year, iPhone 5S, iPhone 6, iPhone 6S, people will know what they're getting into and people know what they're dishing their money out on. They're dishing their money on an iPhone with the iOS service knowing what they're getting. Vice versa with Samsung and HTC. When the new Samsung comes out, a new S4, S5, S6, whatever it may be, you know what it is. You guys can look up many videos. You guys have probably had a prior Samsung phone, and you know what to expect going in to buy the new Samsung or getting your upgrade plan. With this new console type feel, with the VR, and no one's ever really done this before besides the Virtual Boy, which was a crash and burn product a long time ago, but I'll get into that in another video. But really, it is a good comparison. The Virtual Boy compared to this, Virtual Boy is basically an Oculus Rift a good while ago. If you do not know what it is, it's a same thing as an Oculus Rift. I recommend you guys go look it up. But it was not a success. It was a very hyped up system that really made people sick with a lot of the motion. Sickness was going on around with it. Not a lot of good games, not good support for it. And it just wasn't good. It crashed and burned early, which a lot of people say could happen with the Oculus Rift, which is very well a situation that could happen. But you never know. Time will only tell. This could be one of the biggest technology to ever hit the market, but we don't know. Time will tell. But as I said, this is going to be a very dangerous situation to spend $600 on without a gaming computer. But I'm going to leave that up to you guys to decide. I'm going to keep going on about what is bad about this. And the last bad thing about the Oculus Rift I can really think of right now is competition. And what I mean by that is there is no competition in the market anywhere right now facing the Oculus Rift on its release date of March 28th of this year. With that being said, they're not going to be competing for a huge initiative on to keep improving their device. Because there's Nintendo versus Sega, there's Microsoft versus Sony, there's Samsung versus Apple. That always keeps developers pushing and pushing to create the next big thing. Now with the Oculus Rift, there's going to be there's going to be a huge learning experience for them coming out here soon, March 28th. They're going to get a lot of feedback from a lot of different people on whether or not they like the price of it, they like the games, they don't like the games, or maybe they don't even like the price. But with that being said, they're going to learn a lot. But on top of that, as I said, their competition, Microsoft and Sony getting into VR, headsets, they're going to want to create a big money-making VR headset, kind of like Oculus Rift. But they're going to learn from their mistakes, and they're going to capitalize on it, making a bigger and better device, maybe even cheaper with more features. Which that's all about in capitalism. You want to do the same thing as the competitor, but make it better and try to get the most, sales. And with them, looking at the trials and tribulations they're going to see the Rift do, I think it's going to be very hard for the Oculus Rift to keep competing with these big-name budget companies if they're not getting full support from, everything they need to. And if they're not getting the support from fans and not getting support from companies, you're going to see Microsoft, even Samsung starting to dabble in VR. You're going to see them start to take over the gaming VR world, which that's good for us, but hopefully it's going to be cheaper, and hopefully it does not turn out into a huge capitalism-type market Well, they're going to keep upping the price and keep upping the price until it's about $1,000 for a VR headset, which would be ridiculous. Even $600, as I said, that is a very expensive for your average guy. For me, of course, anything that hits the hundreds, that's going to be very expensive, and it's going to be putting a dent in what I have to pay every month. And I do not have enough to be, I don't make enough money just to go out and buy all these VR headsets and gaming laptops whenever I please. That just doesn't work like that. But that's going to be, as I said, a huge downfall in this thing is the money. That was my first topic I talked about, and it's going to come on here to competition. Hopefully, if you wait a little longer, the price will drop, and maybe even Samsung, Microsoft, Sony will create their own VR-type gaming machine, and that will be a hell of a lot cheaper. So we're going to have to wait and see here. I recommend you do that. But now, on to the good, on to the more positive and bright ideas from the Oculus Rift and what it will be supporting and doing. And number one on the bright part of this list of the Oculus Rift is immersive gaming. And what I mean by immersive gaming is actually putting yourself into the game, actually feeling like you're there. When you play a horror game like Slenderman at your house, there could be distractions of people, animals, pets, other things going on that really takes you away from the experience of a horror type experience. But when you have that VR headset on and everything is there's no distractions around you, all you see is black forest, all you see is just pure black, and then you just see forest and you see Slenderman. That's the only thing you see, no distractions from your actual real life. It can make the game a hell of a lot more enjoyable than actually sitting there with a controller, actually putting yourself into the world of Slenderman. Now that's just an example. I don't really play Slenderman that much. I did not find the game too scary, but I can see how people that did not find it scary, that could really up the ante actually putting yourself in that world. Especially if they can create other horror games, that could be a great selling point for people that love those type of games. I would definitely be excited to play something like that on the Oculus Rift. And on top of that, not just horror games, you got thrill games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and all that. There's been demonstrations of theme park type games where it feels like you're going on roller coasters and you actually feel like you're sitting in a roller coaster. It's quite the experience, and it's very good to see the gaming starting to take this route. It's a very enjoyable and adrenaline rush. Now on top of that, as I said, shooter games, all these games that you love will be probably supported by the Oculus Rift. But on top of that, the price tag is going to be a little steep maybe for the games. I would say about $20 per game, kind of like a PC Engine. There's going to be games you have to pay for. They're not all going to come free with the Oculus Rift. The Oculus Rift is kind of like a console. It's kind of like getting an Xbox One, but you're going to have to keep buying games onto that. So that's just a little side note there, but it will be very fun to immerse yourself in some of these games, and I wanted you guys to know that. It is definitely the future of gaming, and it's definitely going to be very fun and worth doing. On to the next part of this list for the good. And number two on the bright part of this list of the Oculus Rift is entertainment. Movies, TV shows, social media, online connectivity, and features. I hope they do right by the Oculus Rift and create tons of apps and features that are very fun and you can definitely connect with your friends and do all kinds of stuff with. Because it'll be very, exciting to see what they can do with this type of technology that we have not been able to do before with phones and such. Now, with that being said, there's already an app that's going to be on the Oculus Rift when it releases March 28th. Now, I'm very excited to play if I do decide to get it, if I do get the money, but I'm probably going to wait on it because I don't feel like spending a $600 price tag, but everyone has their own opinions. But as I was going to say, the application I'm very excited for whenever I do get the Oculus Rift will be Oculus Cinema. You'll be able to watch live streaming events and also including short films and all kinds of other things that are, quirky little videos and stuff, but hopefully they'll incorporate YouTube, Twitch, and maybe even actual movies and TV shows into that app. That'll be very fun to see, sitting at your own home of the comfort of your house, being able to go to a, I guess you would call it virtual theater and be able to watch your movie in that kind of a, I guess you can say, environment. That'll be a lot easier than having to go all the way to the movie theater, but with this generation already becoming, I guess you would say, unsocial-like, this will probably drop the ball right there with that, but that would be very cool if they can maybe put some socialism into it. And what I mean by that is, hopefully they add an online connectivity to the online cinema. What I mean by that is, hopefully you and four of your friends want to go see a movie. You guys don't have a car, you guys can't get around, or anything comes up. You go with your Oculus Rift if everyone has it, and you buy the movie, and you guys can all sit there and go to the same virtual theater and watch the movie all sitting next to each other. That'd be very exciting. It'll be a next generation type thing, but that'd be a very hard task to ask for, but hey, that'd be a very, very good and exciting idea that we have yet to see with this generation of technology. But that is the second best part of the Oculus Rift's abilities I wanted to talk about. Now on to the last, the third best thing I can actually say about the Oculus Rift, which is... And the last part I wanted to talk about the Oculus Rift, the last good idea of it, and that is, overall, the most straightforward answer I can give you is technology. It is brand new, the originality of the idea of it. No one's ever seen something like this, and no one's ever really had something like this in their own home at their own free, time. It's going to be very exciting to see what they can do with it. It's one of a kind, as I said. There's going to be tons of games you can play on it, tons of entertainment they can incorporate with updates, and that's going to be one of the biggest keys for this thing. Is sure it's going to be what it is when it comes out March 28th, but hopefully they keep updates coming and updates coming and updates coming and updates coming to enjoy the experience and further, anticipate the excitement of what it's going to be about, and hopefully keep adding games onto the system, hopefully keep adding apps and entertainment to keep consumers coming back and back and back, and hopefully please drop the price of $600. I know they're not going to do it late, in the next couple months or whatnot before it comes out, but once it's been out for a couple months, I would really appreciate if they drop the price a little bit. In conclusion, this will be a great device for the future of mankind. It will be a thing that's really going to carry on for traditions if this thing does do well and succeed. If this thing is a great selling device and people love it, there's going to be more and more of it, and this is going to be part of our daily life in the daily competition of technology. It will be VR headsets. But at the time, right now, do I recommend someone spending $600 on it? And that is no, I do not, because this thing could be a bust. You're not guaranteed a great working and a marvelous new piece of technology because no one's ever used something like this before. As I said with the smartphone thing, when you're getting an iPhone 6S, if you've had previous iPhones such as an iPhone 5S or an iPhone 6, you know what to expect out of the newer iPhones, faster type feel, more apps, bigger screen. You guys know what the deal is. With this, we do not know what to expect or compare it to. So this could be something, well, as I said, a bust. It might not do good, and people may hate this, and you may actually waste and burn $600 straight out of your pocket because you wanted to try it out. But it could be a very good idea and a very good thing that's really going to carry on, as I said, for generations on if this thing does succeed. This could be the future way of technology and gaming in general. But me personally, I do not recommend anyone to get this right now. I would say wait off for them to drop the price or wait for some sort of updates to come out and more games to be released and more info to drop on it. But that is just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you do. There will definitely be more videos out about the Oculus Rift and gaming in a whole. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button. I'll see you guys later.